This week we cover Argo Space receiving funding to develop a water-powered Space Tug. Our second story is about funding for Impulse Space, another Space Tug company. Our third story is about more details on the vast Haven-1 commercial space station. And finally, PLD Space announces a whole rocket family, Miura Next. Okay, let's get started. Argo Space joins the moon race with $7.9 million investment round. Argo Space is building space tugs that use water as a fuel. Their long-term plan is to mine the water from the moon's surface to fuel their tugs. Water ice is considered to be abundant on the moon, especially in the South Pole, so a water-fueled space tug could be useful for logistics on the moon and also in low Earth orbit. They are building their first Argonaut demonstration vehicle, which is expected to launch in 2025. Argo Space's near-term business plan is to use their space tug to move small satellites into custom orbits after launching to low Earth orbit. SpaceX's transporter missions are cheap and popular, but the satellites get dropped off in similar orbits. If that's not ideal, the satellite would have to use its own onboard fuel to change its orbit, which reduces the satellite life. Argo is developing a larger, reusable and refuelable vehicle capable of carrying payloads of up to 1,000 kilos, and its own high-impulse plasma thruster. Combined with in-space refueling, there is expectation among investors that the space tugs could win customers looking for low-cost access to unusual orbits. The advantage of water, in addition to it being available in large quantities in the form of water ice on the moon's surface, is that it's safe to handle and cheap. Argo Space says they have already designed a system to harvest water from lunar regolith. Water-fueled orbital transfer vehicles linked to propellant depots on the moon would make in-space refueling a normal part of satellite operations. We'll keep you informed of all the developments. Okay, on to our second story this week. Impulse Space gets $34.5 million in funding. Impulse Space has been awarded 2 missions by the US Space Force. The award is worth $34.5 million and requires Impulse Space to fly 2 different tactically responsive demonstration missions using its high-powered spacecraft in 2026. The missions are named Victus Surgo and Victus Salo. Victus Surgo will use the Helios kick stage to boost the company's Muira orbital transfer vehicle, or OTV for short, from low Earth orbit to geotransfer orbit. Victus Salo will see Impulse use the Muira OTV to carry a government-provided payload. Impulse was founded in 2021 by employee number 1 at SpaceX, Tom Mueller, the propulsion chief who designed and developed the engines used by the SpaceX Falcon rocket. The company has already flown one of its Muira spacecraft on a successful mission and plans to launch another on SpaceX's Transporter 12 rideshare, expected to lift off in October 2024. These highly responsive missions by the US Space Force are for highly maneuverable spacecraft that transition between orbits and space domain awareness tasking operations. This explains why Impulse Space are getting this award. Their space tug can quickly change orbits thanks to its powerful engine, so it's ideal for inspecting unknown satellites, debris, or unknown objects in space. Okay, on to our next story on a commercial space station that could be launching in less than 12 months from now. VAST reveals the inside of Haven-1 space station. VAST, the commercial space station company, unveils in a new video the interior of the Haven-1, the first space station they will be launching in 2025 on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. This milestone could mark Haven-1 as the first commercial space station in orbit, ahead of competitors like Axiom, whose first module is now expected in late 2026. The design of Haven-1 focuses on versatility, catering to various activities including scientific research, technology advancement, in-space manufacturing, and space tourism. The station's interior boasts a warm and inviting atmosphere, designed to make its inhabitants feel at home. A notable feature is the exterior's centralized window, offering astronauts a breathtaking panorama of Earth. Inside, Haven-1 features a real-time status display for monitoring the station's conditions, including temperature and lighting adjustments. The storage solutions are optimized with efficient cargo compartments, ensuring that supplies are both accessible and securely stowed. Additionally, the use of soft, padded materials throughout the interior adds an extra layer of safety for the crew and any visitors navigating the zero-gravity environment. Above and below the corridor, the station's 4 private crew quarters offer astronauts a space to rest and recharge. Slightly larger than the crew quarters aboard the ISS, these rooms are designed to allow for changing, entertainment, online communication with loved ones back on Earth, enabled by SpaceX's Starlink connectivity, and, most importantly, a good night's rest. At the heart of Haven-1 lies the Common Area, a central multifunctional space where crew members can engage in scientific experiments or technology development, share meals, exercise, or simply unwind. This area, with its impressive 24 cubic meters of volume, sets a new standard for space station design, featuring a 1.1 meter domed window. The common area includes a deployable table covering 0.9 square meters, which serves for dining and collaboration and can be neatly stowed away into the floor when not required. The highlight, however, is the large observation window, offering a spectacular and continuous view of Earth, enhancing the sense of connection to home for those aboard. Next to the common area is the Haven-1 lab, marking the world's first microgravity research on a commercial platform. This lab features 10 mid-deck lower payload slots behind its forward wall, ready for use by the station's astronauts. Operations within the lab can be remotely controlled and observed through SpaceX's Starlink, offering an enhanced scientific capacity for private astronauts during this stay. Okay, let's move on to our final story in this video. PLD Space unveil their Miura Next family of rockets. PLD Space has made a surprising announcement revealing not just one, but an entire family of rockets named Miura Next. This family includes 3 distinct variants. The Miura Next, a single-core rocket, the Next Heavy, which features 2 additional side boosters, and the Next Super Heavy, equipped with 4 side boosters. The Super Heavy will have the capacity to place more than 53 tons in orbit. And not only that, it can land afterwards. All these vehicles will have a reusable first stage, either returning to a landing vessel or back to base, depending upon the performance needed for the flight. Alongside these rockets, PLD Space introduced Project LINCE. This means LINCE in English. This project involves developing a spacecraft that bears a resemblance to SpaceX's Crew Dragon in both appearance and function. The LINCE spacecraft will have a similar shape, a protective heat shield, and will feature onboard computer screens for the 2 central crew members, with additional seating available for up to 3 more. Like its SpaceX counterpart, LINCE is designed to transport both crew and cargo, using the Miura Next single core for launches. This development from PLD Space is certainly one to watch. For those interested in a more in-depth exploration of the Miura Next series and the LINCE crew capsule, I recently posted a video on this topic. Click the link for the video that should be on screen now. And that wraps up the update for this week. Be sure to subscribe to get the latest news on commercial space startups around the globe, from rocket launchers to space stations, orbital tugs, lunar landers and more. If it's a commercial space startup, we cover it. See you soon.